Hi there, and welcome to another video on the AEC Bar. This time we're going to be looking at how to set up BIM 360 team and collaboration for Revit. So the two are separate, if you will, so it means that there's a benefit to using BIM 360 team, and then there are users that will be benefiting of collaboration for Revit. So when it comes to an entitlement for collaboration for Revit, that's the people that are mainly in Revit itself and that are using the work sharing workflow, if you will, that's been around in Revit for ages now. But the latest addition is really collaboration for Revit. The difference with the previous ones, Central Files and Revit Server, is that the central file sits in the cloud. And when I say in the cloud, it really means the central file sits on BIM 360 team. So to cut a long story short, you can't really use collaboration for Revit unless the file is in BIM 360 team. So therefore, logically, collaboration for Revit comes with a BIM 360 team entitlement. Now, before we dive into collaboration for Revit and its setup, let's first look at how we set up BIM 360 team, because for any viewer, reviewer not using Revit, mainly to consult the data itself, they'll need a BIM 360 team entitlement, all of them, whether that's a viewer, an editor, an admin, anyone with access to BIM 360 team needs an entitlement. So that's where it all starts. So basically, if there's a contract owner for the Autodesk entitlements and Autodesk licenses, that's where you first go. You make sure that you have an entitlement to BIM 360 team, and that person is the admin to the whole hub, as we call it. So BIM 360 team is a cloud environment with where we can set up different projects. And so the first thing is get the entitlement for a hub, and then we start inviting people into the different projects. So after the entitlement, you get a hub, you define a project. That's the first step. As an admin, you would define a project and you'd invite people in. Those people can get in if they have an entitlement of their own for BIM 360 team. So that could be an entitlement that comes from the company you're working for. It could be an individual entitlement to your own hub, or a company that is inviting you can provide the entitlement for you. So there's a couple of options here, but no matter what option is chosen, the ones that need access to BIM 360 team need an entitlement, all of them. Okay. So as I said, first of all, the hub, then comes the project, then you define people that are invited into the project. Now, when it comes to collaboration for Revit, just one thing to set up in BIM 360 team is to make sure that the project that you're inviting people into is a closed or secret project, not an open one. I'm not going to spend too much details there, but it has to be a closed or secret project. So as I said, when you invite people into such a project, closed or secret, what we'll need to do is provide viewer or editor access. And viewer basically means people can go onto BIM 360 team, consult the information, look at it, mark up. So most of the benefits are there. The only difference with an editor is obviously they can't really edit the design files themselves. So they can't go into Revit, modify a file and upload it as a new version. That's the main difference between viewers and editors. Okay, so that's BIM 360 team. If we now want to activate, if you will, collaboration for Revit, that's yet another entitlement, as I said. So the company will need to provide collaboration for Revit entitlements, or someone as a stakeholder that needs to participate in the Revit workflow, they'll need an entitlement. So the same applies as to BIM 360 team. Either the company provides it, either it's an individual entitlement, or well, you're working for that for said company and you have an entitlement because the company purchased one. Okay. And as I said, very important, collaboration for Revit automatically means that you have a team entitlement. So if I, as a company, have 5 entitlements to collaboration for Revit and 2 separate BIM 360 team entitlements, it means that to get access to BIM 360 team, we have 7 in total. 5 for the collaboration for Revit and 2 for BIM 360 team. Okay. So the last step then is, well, we've got access to team, we've got access to a project, I've got an entitlement to collaboration for Revit, so how do we set this up? Well, that's quite easy. So now we're talking about a workflow inside of Revit itself. So that's where the next step happens. You open up Revit, you start from a template. Any template is good, obviously. And the first thing that we're going to do is activate collaboration. So collaboration, if we open that dialog box, it says, do you want to go the traditional way, which is Revit server or a central file in a network drive, or do you want to use the cloud-based collaboration? And that's what we're going to be choosing here. So that's the second option. So what happens then is that we have to choose a project to save that first central file into. Okay, so we're getting a dialog box that says, here are the projects that you have access to. Remember, we were invited into a BIM 360 team project, so we can then save a central file onto BIM 360 team, onto a specific project. And what happens then is that Revit file gets uploaded. Well, first of all, the work sharing gets activated, then the file gets uploaded, and lastly, we are creating a local copy. All of this is happening automatically. For those of you who are familiar with work sharing in the past, this is exactly the same process. A central file this time goes onto the project on the cloud, and then you're creating a local file. So what does that mean for other people that need to have access to that Revit file? Well, again, they have to be invited as an editor into the BIM 360 team project. They go into Revit, they have a C4R entitlement. All they have to do is open a file from the cloud. So within the dialog box, you'll see that there is a cloud access button, if you will. It will again list all of the projects that we have access to. So we go into the project that we want to work on. We open the file and automatically we get a local copy on that second machine, third machine, fourth machine, etc. We can claim objects, we can claim worksets, we can relinquish worksets and objects. All of that is identical to what we've seen in the past with work sharing on a central file and Revit server. So with that, that's the end of this video. As always, feel free to drop us a line at or on the.aec.bar@autodesk.com and feel free to comment this video. Thank you very much.